Thank you very much for being here on the call here with AdHit Profits. This is the Opportunity webinar, July 25th, 2013. My name is Charles Scoville. I am the owner of AdHit Profits, and what I want to do is give you all an update as well as reiterate truly how incredible this opportunity truly is. Now, as you know, AdHit Profits has been a victim of an internet crime. We have been struck, we've been hit, and also there's many false claims that were going throughout the forum for the last about a month, and now it's all leading to this as more and more people are afraid of AdHit Profits going away. We are not going away. AdHit Profits is definitely a legitimate business. We have shared our revenues from all legitimate ad services that people have really claimed higher than usual results with. So we're definitely coming back. One of the things I was actually noticing is on ad hits today, we still are getting over 200,000 visitors to our website, even though our site is offline. So that is truly phenomenal. It's amazing to see the amount of people who are still checking out what's going on with AdHit Profits with the site being down the way that it is. And I just want to thank all of you for your support in this and being here on the call and being part of AdHit Profits. And what I wanted just to reiterate for you on what AdHit Profits really is, it's mind-blowing how good it is. And I think that's one reason why there's been so many copycats, because they've recognized how awesome it is and why we're getting so many attacks. But what AdHit Profits is trying to do with you is share with you the kind of income that, or the kind of revenues that are truly being generated out in the industry. You might not know this, but making money from home, the income opportunity, direct sales, marketing industry, it's $1 billion industry. All of these people who are trying to grow downlines, they're trying to grow their business, they're trying to get out their message to a targeted community of people who are seeking for making money online or at home. And there are lots of advertisers who are buying lots of advertisements. Now think about click income. Google is click income. They make billions of dollars in a year with click income. Same thing with Facebook and YouTube. As AdHit Profits is growing more and more and higher with our Alexa ranking, getting more and more visitors, that raises the value of our advertising services beyond what you're paying on Google. Because if you go to Google and you're bidding for targeted advertising within the income industry, it's really difficult. And the main reason I say that is you're bidding on keywords. You might be bidding for make money at home or something like that. But let's say someone is searching for how to find money I lost at home. You know, those are keywords. You know, someone's like, I don't know I lost some loose change, I lost something. You know, so there's people searching through Google that see these ads and maybe click on them that are not really targeted visitors. Through AdHit Profits, all of these people that are on AdHit Profits website are targeted for this industry, and I believe that's exactly why our advertisers were seeing phenomenal results to their pay-per-click advertising campaigns, is because they were actually paying for highly qualified, highly valuable and targeted, laser-targeted advertising for their campaigns. And I believe that's exactly why we've had so many people come out and attack AdHit Profits, is because they see that we have a vision here that's truly amazing. And that's exactly why there's all these copycats that are coming up, is the vision with AdHit Profits is truly phenomenal. It's incredible, and that's all I can say really about the opportunity, is that as people are buying these ads on the service, we share that revenue with people who buy those directory listings. So AdHit Profits, people are asking, when is it going to come back online? When is it coming back? Because right now it's just showing this page that the website's being updated. Now, if you have not gotten the newsletter or any information about this, I'm really sorry that there's any problem with you not receiving that information. I've also been updating our Facebook group constantly about this type of information so that you can fully see and know what's going on with AdHit Profits and kind of giving you a daily status update of where we're at. And some people are like, well, shouldn't it just be easy just removing funds? I mean, that seems to be a really easy thing to do. Just subtract out and just move forward. Let me pull up the Facebook group for you so you can see. What I'm going to do right now is just scroll down to the message that I released today and read it to you just so that you can be aware of what's going on. And that is that, as you know, AdHit Profits is a victim of a strong FUD campaign and also had an attack on my system using Solid Trust Pay as the weapon. And you can read more about what a FUD campaign is here on Wikipedia, where it really outlines and describes that this is a tactic used by many companies. So that actually is kind of neat to know, is that AdHit Profits is being recognized by our enemies as being a valid company that they need to be in competition with, that we have strong competition with them, and that they have no real other footing in the network or within the industry other than to knock us down, because whatever it is that they're promoting or whatever services or whatever value that they're trying to promote isn't as valuable as what AdHit Profits was delivering. They've got to resort to these types of campaigns and this strategy. This is something that is, in a way, kind of flattering that they see us as being so good that they've got to take us out. Now, a hacker found a way to send millions of dollars from Solid Trust Pay through AdHit Profits, which was shared and dispersed with all of our members. So this created a large amount of earnings that were not backed up on the actual accounts. Okay, so there was an amount of earnings that's like, oh wow, those funds aren't really in the processors, because Solid Trust Pay, they'd be reversing those payments, and they did. And so we had to make sure to close it down to get everyone and have their account balances back restored the way that they should be. Now here's the problem that we bumped into, is that some shares were at $50.12 and others at $46.78 before this event. Okay? But when those funds came in, it maxed those shares out at $56.25. So the amount of these shares before this whole fraud event had happened, that is unknown. We don't know what those shares were valued at. We don't know. We have no idea. Simply removing an average from each account resulted in some accounts being negative, because some of those members withdrew the legitimate earnings from their shares previous to this happening. So for example, as it says here, someone had a number of shares at $50.12 and then was maxed to $56.25, subtracting $17.11, for example, from each of those shares, it would have removed down to it was $39.14. But if they had already cashed out that amount, then their balance would be negative. And that's what we were seeing, is that there were a lot of accounts, actually nearly all of the members were negative. And it was necessary to kind of go back to the drawing board and not just remove an average amount from all of the accounts, or from all of the shares, I should say, but that we would have to try to figure out exactly what that was. So I went to my host, and the sad coincidence here is that my host that I use for backups also had their backups wiped. So in trying to recover using the backup system that I have in place, it was unsuccessful because they said that they had just happened to have a glitch. They just happened to have a glitch that now they've lost all of my backups. And I don't know if they're just not admitting to me that they were hacked. I don't know. It could have been. But that's the sad coincidence here, is that we're kind of left with unknowns of how much money was actually in those shares that was actually real. So I've been working with my programmer through solutions to bring account balances as near as possible to what they should be. And as we work through these solutions, it's taking time because we're bumping into other things that we didn't consider before, and we had to make sure that we incorporated those in our solutions, and so we're tweaking our strategy to work better and better. Last night, I felt we would be up today. I really did, because the strategy, it just felt so perfect. But then by running it through, we saw that there was still something missing from the formula that we had put together. And so we're looking at, well, what is it on that account that is not working on that one? Let's look at that specifically, and let's look at what rule we need to create to make it work on that specific account, because there's probably lots of accounts that have that same exact reason involved with those. So we just detect what that reason is, we run it, and it solved it for a lot more accounts. We're getting closer and closer to having it resolved for all accounts. We were the closest that we've ever been to being done last night. So I believe that it is just a matter of a short amount of more time that we're going to be down. I don't want to say this, but I mean, it is kind of a guess that because of how close we really were last night, it's very possible we're going to be up and online tomorrow. There's no way of knowing for sure. But one of the things I really want to kind of reiterate is it's like we just got hit by an atomic bomb. You know, I mean, how long did it take for Hiroshima to rebuild after being hit by an atomic bomb? Imagine if people said, oh, well, they're never going to rebuild. We're just going to give up. Well, unfortunately for them, that's too bad. But there were places that have been hit by atomic bombs that it took time to rebuild, but when they did, it's now beautiful. And there's people that go there today that say, can you believe that this place was once ground zero to an atomic bomb? You know, it's something that I truly believe that with what's going on with At-Hit Profits, that we're going to bounce back and we're going to move forward. I know for me, I'm going to be out a lot more strong and stronger than I've ever been to educate everybody what is really going on with At-Hit Profits. When it comes to the opportunity that we truly have right here is that click income, sharing that revenue, and the results, the campaigns, because people who pay money for advertising, they don't want to pay money for advertising unless there's some real results. And if there's real results, then they're willing to spend money on advertising. If they're growing their downline and they're growing their income and they're making more money today than they were yesterday, they're willing to take some of those earnings and put that into growing to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, it's almost like what some people consider as compounding with like an investment. By taking amount of your earnings and putting it into advertising and growing your business, you actually increase your earnings. And if you keep taking more and more of your earnings out of your balance and putting it into the advertising to continually grow your business bigger and bigger, before you know it, you're making so much in a year, it's unfathomable. It's hard to believe that you can be just little you from your own perspective. From my perspective, I am just little me. But by just getting out there and advertising in as many places as you can possible, referring people to At-Hit Profits to use the advertising services, you actually will be helping grow the revenue share aspect. And as we keep moving forward, those revenue share aspects will clear out any of the problems that we're having today. So in a year, 2 years from now, people look back and say, can you believe where we have come from? This is a part of the At-Hit Profits story. And I don't know if you've ever watched some of these types of movies where there's huge struggles and those struggles are overcome, and there's a lot of people that are going through those struggles that give up. Well, those aren't people with the winning attitude. I am a winner. I am At-Hit Profits. You can count on me. We're going to move forward. We're going to take full ownership of what it is that we can do and move forward, and we're going to make this work. And it's going to come back, and some people are projecting that it's going to come back stronger than ever because we're getting a lot of publicity right now. A lot of people that weren't even aware that At-Hit Profits existed is now getting this awareness that At-Hit Profits is here. And a lot of people are starting to say, well, you tell me when you come back because I'm looking into your business and I want to become a part of it. People are looking into what we were having have happen when it came to the amount of revenues that were being shared, and they're saying, I want to know more about that. Seeing the kind of results people were getting from advertising campaigns, people were like, wow, when you come back, tell me, I want to start launching some campaigns for your site because it sounds amazing. And it truly is. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to show you as well, is that as AdHits is online, I've had to have it there because of the people that have placed ads. Now, these people, they have added an amount towards their campaigns. This one's 750, this one 500, this one 500. I have to keep those campaigns going. That's why it's on the site. And as you can see today, this one particular advertisement received 327 clicks. That's a lot of clicks on a pay-per-click campaign, especially when people aren't even compulsory needing to click on that. This particular campaign, just today, 431 clicks. Now, as you know, AdHits, their server starts at 10 p.m. Mountain Time, or that's on Eastern Time, so midnight Eastern. So in just a little bit over 12 hours, they have had more clicks, and probably successful clicks, because they haven't stopped their campaign or canceled it. They're probably really happy and pleased with these services because this advertiser keeps placing more and more ads on AdHit Profits. So if our services are this good for this particular advertiser to keep putting thousands of dollars on AdHit Profits, which we actually share with you and everyone else, then I can only imagine the kind of results that you'd be able to get by using our services, because this person's ad was generally at the very bottom of the page, and they keep placing more and more ads because their clicks keep getting used more and more and more, and they're paying 25 cents a click. They love that. You know, I really think that when we come back into full swing and we have that advertising services back available for full use and everyone's starting to see exactly what's going on, we're going to see some really good things the more that people start to share. But let me tell you something about this particular advertiser. I don't know who they are. I have no idea. But I can imagine that they love their results. And they really are probably in competition with other people in his own niche. So do you think he's going to be the one telling people about our advertising services? He's an advertiser. He wants to have a leg up on his competition. He doesn't want people to know about his secret advertising resource. But we, as AdHit Profits, we can tell people of these secrets. Okay, because he's not going to. He's an advertiser. He wants to have a leg up on his competition. But we can tell everybody, and as we talk about our advertising services and bring more people into AdHit Profits to use those advertising services, then that means more shared revenues for you and everyone else. But one of the things that I really want to clarify about the AdHit Profits opportunity is that Google makes billions of dollars on click income each year. Facebook, billions of dollars in click income each year. YouTube, I mean, there are a lot of the bigger companies that make a lot of money online. They make their money because of click income. AdHit Profits offers click income to be shared with you. And all you've got to do is at least purchase one directory listing, and you get to share in those revenues up to 125% of what it is that you purchase. So from that $45 purchase, you get $56.25. And as people were really utilizing our services, that was actually happening fast. And it was because of how fast it was, it scared people. And I think that because of how good things were, they were wondering, how long is this going to last? And because people were wondering, how long is this going to last, that's when the competitors of AdHit Profits took a perfect opportunity to say it's not going to last much longer. And a lot of people believed them, and that's what slowed us down in the revenue share. So we can combat that by getting out there and telling people of the secret ad services that we offer that advertisers are buying and putting thousands of dollars in each month. And if we could actually get more of these types of advertisers and educate the industry more and more of what it is that we actually truly have on AdHit Profits, it wouldn't matter what the people were afraid of at AdHit Profits anymore. Because anyone who said, oh, it's not going to last that much longer, they might get some of these hit-and-run people to be afraid, but the advertisers would remain, and that would be the strong backbone of AdHit Profits. So that's really all that I had today, is that the opportunity of AdHit Profits is an absolutely amazing opportunity. We're coming online as quickly as we possibly can, and we're getting everything sorted out, and it is taking just a little bit more time than what I had expected, but I really do appreciate all of your patience, your kind words, warm support, and your prayers on behalf of AdHit Profits as well as myself. I'm going to open up the questions box and see what questions that we have today. All right, so the first question is AdHit Profits going away? And as I've been mentioning throughout this call, Keanu, is that we are absolutely staying through this. We're staying online. There is a lot of people that are starting to share their fears and doubts that we'll ever come back. But, you know, there's a lot that can be said that, you know, within a short amount of time, we're going to get this back up. And comparative to the destruction that was caused, having us come back up as fast as we will is only going to just say, wow. I think that many people don't even fully understand the full degree of destruction that was done because of what this hacker did, making that gigantic purchase through Solid Trust Pay. Thank you, Marie, for saying that you're with us, or with me 100%. The next question says, Charles, you are the most genuine program owner I have come across. Hats off to you, my friend. P.S. What other genuine programs are you in, as I will follow you, as I can trust you. You don't have to read... oops. So I don't have to read that bit out loud. Oops. Definitely thank you, Dave. Right now, my main focus, and pretty much my only focus right now, has been AdHit Profits, to get it up, to get it running, to make it successful, to bring value into it. And every bit of my genius within my mind, and I just say genius as a term by definition, is through, I'm just using all of my mental powers to figure out how to make AdHit Profits better, how to offer more value to our advertisers, how to bring more advertisers to AdHit Profits, and how to help members recognize more fully what it is that they have here. So I'm not really involved in anything else right now, other than just other advertising resources that I use. The next question says, do you have an estimate of when we will be back up, Charles? Apologies, I missed this earlier. Keep up the good work. So Richard, it sounds like you did miss what I was saying earlier, is that there's a lot going on involved here, and kind of what I was explaining here is that the site is coming up. The reason it's down is simply that we're tweaking strategies until everything is as close to normal, or at least is absolutely fair for everyone. And so as we have been applying some of these strategies and seeing that it's not quite what we want before we release, then my programmer and I, we say, okay, we got to tweak it like this, we got to change it like that, and we got to keep that in mind. We got to do this, we got to do, you know, all these kinds of different things that are just things I never even thought of, but we have to think through those things and think outside the box and try to create a solution that is truly going to be beneficial for everybody, because this did affect everybody, and it's really actually sad to see that this had happened at all. But we are going to make the best of this situation, and we're going to move forward. You know, that's pretty much all that we can really do, is just pick up as much as we can and just start walking forward and keep going the best that we can, and that's all that we can really do. But that's really the reason why it's taken a little bit of more time. I really believed last night, as I thought that was the last bit of tweaking that we would have to do to get it up and running today, but we bumped into something else that we needed to fix and include in that into that strategy. So it is just a little bit longer. We'll be back up and running, and we're going to prove all the naysayers wrong, and that's what I've always said from the very beginning. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten what it is that I have said and the kind of person that I am, because I have never, since the very launch of AdHit Profits, said anything that I didn't do. I have never said we were going to do something that I didn't do. I have always been a man of my word. I have paid out instantly, on time. The program is phenomenal. All of the people support when times were great were phenomenal. People were asking me at the time, what happens if there's ever a problem? And I said, through any problem, I'm going to stand by through it. And everyone's like, that's great. That's the kind of admin we want. but then as we're facing a problem, how many people are actually standing with us through it? That's really the question. And the neat thing about this is, regardless of who is with us, this train is going, and it's going to the top. And so if people are hopping off the train, they're missing out on the future. So that's where I just really feel like, wow, we are in for a real treat, because if they have all given up, that's less revenue shares that you guys are going to have to share with, because they're not clicking their 10 ads every day anymore. And that means that all of the revenues that are going to come in, they're going to go to you guys only instead of them too. So it's going to, I believe, ripple out as people start to say, oh, wow, ad hit profits is actually really good. And people will either come back or something. Well, anyway, next question. The next question says, since you are USA-based, shouldn't we not have a W-9 on file with you to receive 1099? Gerald, that's a question that we have addressed several times, and I've been talking with professionals within that industry, like accountants, and they're asking me basically, are you guys my employees? No, you guys are just receiving a share in revenue. Well, then it's actually your personal tax requirement upon yourself, because you're receiving revenue. You're not being paid for work being done, so to speak. If you're receiving revenues, then you actually need to claim that as an increase personally to you. There's not going to be any tax information that I'm going to get from you. I'm not going to ask for your social security numbers or anything like that. And I've been talking with professionals, and that's what they're saying is that's the norm. So I mean, I'm not just asking my neighbor. I'm not just asking somebody online what they think. I'm talking with the people who are actually involved with real knowledge. And I think that's something that is missing within a lot of the online, is a lot of people just go off of what someone has told them versus actually getting real, true professional advice. And hopefully more and more people do that in this industry, seriously. The next question says, best of luck. I hope the worst is behind you. I certainly hope so as well, Ellen. The next question says, Charles, what can members do to help stop the people and companies that are slandering you? Candace, I would probably just say, there's a lot of these people that are slandering us that are trying to launch their own programs. Maybe they're trying to launch their own copycat of Ad Hit Profits. Maybe they're trying to sway you into a high-yield investment plan, or maybe they're trying to sway you into whatever it is that they're trying to do. Just be mindful of what it is, how it benefits these people, and just try to do your best not to allow any of your actions or anyone, educate people that you know, to stay away from those people, because they're literally just trying to benefit themselves. They're not trying to benefit Ad Hit Profits. They're not trying to benefit any of you guys, because really all of the things that have been going on, just like what this is saying here, is I know that there is a campaign telling people open disputes. And I hope that our members recognize that this is an absolute abuse against me, against Ad Hit Profits, and against all of our members in general. Our whole membership is being affected by what that person is doing. And there's a number of people that are doing these things against Ad Hit Profits, and they are not doing it for helping anybody. They're doing it for their own personal gain. And hopefully, as we recognize what's in it for them for doing this, that people can start to turn around and say, you know what, I don't want to help benefit them. They're stealing from my Ad Hit Profit. They're stealing from my benefits that I'm getting from Ad Hit Profits, and the income that I can actually receive and earn from Ad Hit Profits as an affiliate. I just really hope that more and more people start to recognize that this destructive force is not just affecting me. Because right now at this point, it's not about me, it's about the membership, and it's about making sure that the membership is able to receive of their full benefits that they've paid for. All right, so the next question says, Charles, when we're back online, I'll keep on to refer new members for Ad Hit Profits as fast as possible, and I'll do everything that's necessary until I have at least 100 people on my team. That's a promise. Thank you very much, Janice, for your support, and I am so grateful for that. We are definitely coming back online. There is no doubt about that. It's just a matter of time. Is the question is when, and my biggest goal is to do it today. When I get started on the project with my programmer, each day we're going to do it today. It's not eventually. No, we're doing it, and And that's when we're bumping into things, and then we get so tired and burned out. It's like, I gotta go to sleep. I've been up all night, and like, yeah, we'll reconvene tomorrow is basically what we keep saying to each other. And it's amazing just the amount of time and effort that's being put into this behind the scenes, and it's really getting close to being done. Thank you very much again, Janice, for your support. The next question says, understand completely. Many thanks. Pressure I wouldn't want, that's for sure. Oh, that's for sure. Pressure, I am really going to be grateful that it will be finally lifted off my shoulders. Once when the site gets back online, that'll be a big lift of burden off of my shoulders, that is for sure. The next question is, to prevent this from happening again, I feel you must stop the automatic withdrawals. Kenneth, there are going to be some new rules added. In fact, they're already built into the script now, is that revenues, when they come in, they will not be dispersed immediately anymore. It'll still disperse each 30 minutes, but it'll be a delay of 24 hours. So it'll give us 24 hours to be able to detect any kind of fraudulent funds. And another thing that we're doing is if somebody signs up, they cannot withdraw for at least 7 days from when their purchase was made. So there's going to be some new things that are going to be added to this, or that when you log in, you're going to see some of these things. They're going to be a little bit different. Like when you were clicking for ads, it had a little bit of a countdown timer when you needed to click ads again. There's going to be a countdown timer when you can make a withdrawal again, and you can only withdraw once every 7 days, and it'll be instant. And the main reason why these things are being implemented is for security, and it's not because the funds aren't there, but it's in the case that somebody makes a purchase and it's fraudulent, we can catch it, and the person isn't able to withdraw their commissions from those fraudulent purchases through a different processor account. So those are just some safety guards that we're putting into place. And I was talking with some leaders, and they were saying, as long as those payouts are instant, and as long as people are getting paid, at first they might say we don't like it, but then once when they see that this is here for the long term, it's for their protection, and it keeps working that way, and it's consistent, then people will come around and say, you know what, we really do like this. It's better than it was before. Maybe not so many people will say better than it was before. I would really love to have kept it to be instantly available whenever you want it to. At any time that you're over $10, go ahead and click withdraw. That's what I really wanted. But we see that there's a lot of dishonest and fraudulent people that are out there in the world, and they exploit that kind of thing, and they take full advantage of it. And so that's where there's going to be some newer rules that are going to help keep ad-hit profits more protected against any kind of attack like this in the future. The next person, Dale, is saying, I admire you for your character and tenacity. Charles, thank you. And I just want to say thank you, Dale, for being here as well. I mean, you're enduring through this as well. Thank you. The next comment says, tell people to enjoy the weekend, and Monday starts a new day and a new life for ad-hit profits, bigger, brighter, and beautiful. Thank you, Sandro. And I think that if we got everything done on Friday, it would be something that would say, okay, let's release it on Monday and start to get some buzz out there that we're coming back Monday, something like that. I would love to see that coming back Monday. I just don't know. I would love to see that. So don't take what I just said as being the beginning of any buzz, but just know that I think that if we got it done and it's like the wee hours of the night or something, it'd be like, okay, let's start telling people to start preparing so that people can start getting ready, because they're going to need to get in and click their ads. And we want to make sure that when people start clicking their ads, they're fully qualified for the revenues that will start to come through the next day. The next comment says, tell people it's summer time, enjoy the beach, pools, country, barbecue. All right, the next question says that they get W-9s and things like that from ClickBank and PayPal. That's true. Those are processors. PayPal, yes, they'll need to send that information. But I'm not a processor, so I'm not held to the same kind of regulations that they are needing to provide. And I've never received a W-2 from ClickBank, but that's just me. The next question says, Charles, is there any possibility that this sort of thing could happen again? And I kind of did go over that, where you're asking, are there any safeguards in place? There are some safeguards that have been added because of this. and we've been reviewing some additional safeguards that could be built in, and that's where having that 24-hour delay is an additional safeguard, some withdrawal delays to kind of help keep this from happening again as well. Because the more that the fraudsters don't like using our services, the better. and that's something that kind of goes with a dual-edged sword, though, because if the fraudsters don't like the system, then sometimes members don't either. But you got to kind of have to say, but did we remove the risk? We're removing or at least reducing the risk, and unfortunately some members might see that as a negative thing, but hopefully going forward that they see it as a strong positive thing for greater longevity and sustainability, and seeing that as more of a true value to the business and to the opportunity than anything else. The next thing says, yes, these are existing copycats. I think you're right. I think some of these campaigns against us are copycats, as well as some other programs that maybe recently crashed that are upset that they crashed and we're still happy and we're still going. And so they are trying to take us out. Let's see. Have you heard if our letters to PESA helped at all? Pam, I did receive contact from PESA. It looks like they wanted to get some more additional information. I tried answering those questions, but they are more along the lines of they want me to give up, and that's the truth. PESA thinks I should just close down and refund everybody. And I said that's not an option. Failure is not an option here. We are going to come back online, and we're going to need those revenues that are in there. We're not going to refund everybody, because then, you know, those funds, what we need to have those funds available for payouts, you know. But I want to just tell you all, in case this is a concern of yours, that within the AdHit Profits revenue share, it's built in to cover fraud. And that amount covered the amount that is actually in PESA. So I have been reviewing and considering and saying, you know, if we don't get PESA back, no problem. Because all of the earnings that are on members' accounts are already fully backed up and sustained by the funds that are available right now today inside of Solid Trust Pay and inside of Easy Bonds. So if we did lose PESA, it would be terrible, but all of the money that is available inside those processors already is enough to cover every single member balance. And that is, it does remove some of that fear there from my point of view, where I'm like, wow, what's going to happen? Those funds, though, I am still trying to get everything back there with PESA. I'm also trying to get PESA to recognize what is really going on, that there is a real internet crime being committed against AdHit Profits and all of our members, and that we really need them to be on our side and to give us that support. But I don't think they fully recognize the full depth of what's going on. So hopefully, Pam, those letters have at least helped in some degree. It at least helped open communication again. And I don't know if we're going to have any more communication at this point, but we'll see. The last thing, you've got to offer a big vacancy to your programmer and some credits that he deserves. Sandro, yeah, I'm definitely making sure to take care of the programmer, because he is the lifeblood of the business. So if the programmer didn't, you know, work well with us, then we would never be able to come back. But he has actually truly been phenomenal through this whole time. And I've been very grateful for his hard work and all of his efforts and his patience as we stumble along together and determine, oh, that's not going to work. Look at this. You know, and then he says, check it now. And I say, oh, not this. He checks it as he runs through another thing. And he's like, nope, look at this. We got to do this. We got to do that. We're constantly evolving our strategy to beat this. And literally last night, we were almost there. So I can imagine that we're going to be even more close this next time, if not completely successful, and I can't wait to be able to give that news to you guys. All right, so the next question says, that is great, nice. Charles, pass on our regards to your programmer for his hard work. Thanks, Dave. Next question says, thank you for keeping us up to date, and the changes are for the best to secure our funds, so it's for a positive thing. Absolutely. Richard says, did Payza get in touch after our email campaign as you suggested? Yes, I did receive email contact from their corporate group of account managers. My particular account manager, and this is another thing that I'm just like, what? She's been out of town through this. She went on vacation and comes back on the 31st of July. So the person who I typically have been working with at Payza for the last few years hasn't even been there. So I've been working with people who don't even know me, don't know the situation, don't have any ideas. They're just coming fresh into this. So I really hope that when she comes back, it'll really change, because she's always done amazing things for AdHit Profits and making sure that everything is running smoothly. So with her being gone, it's kind of like this perfect storm. Payza, there was something there that the hacker exploited and sent funds through the AdHit Profits. AdHit Profits, our backup system was offline for some reason through the host. So there's Solid Trust Pay, the host, and then Payza, my account manager's out of town. So all of these things all related. It's all at the same time. It's like this perfect storm. And I kind of just look at this and say to myself, this might very well have been just a test of faith that has been created or allowed to have happened just for us to test us, to see who, I don't know, who's really on board with this business. I mean, who can really recognize who I really am? Who's a hidden runner? And who's a scammer? And I think this is kind of going to help flush out a lot of the people who we don't really want as part of this business. All right, so the next question says, what you're doing, Charles, or you're doing great. What you're doing, Charles, we are here to stay. Thanks, Charles. You're awesome. Thank you. Most other programs don't do what you're doing right now, and that is looking after the members. You are a true leader. Thank you very much for that. Sounds like you should be looking for a new hosting company. Yes, Steve, I am. I actually have contact with another hosting company. I was actually meaning to talk with them this afternoon, so I'll be talking with them after this call is over, and we'll be getting set up over there. They've got a lot better security over there as well, so I'm really looking forward to getting more information and probably getting that switched over. So if you see the site going offline, it's because we're switching hosts, and I think that would probably cause a lot of extra fear. But in time, we're gonna rise triumphant. We're gonna show our true colors. When it comes back online, everyone who's been saying we're never going to come back online, they're going to look like an idiot, and I can't wait to show them that they were just wrong. The last question says, everything happens for a reason. We don't always need to know why. And I think you're right, Joan. Everything does happen for a reason. And I have definitely grown as a person through this. And it's tested and shown. I mean, when you're tried, like what I said at the very beginning of this whole opportunity is, what happens if there's ever a problem and I say, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to face it. Well, now that I'm facing this problem, it's proving my integrity. And what really kind of makes me wonder is why so many people question my integrity after I have not done anything to harm my integrity. I've always said what I've said, and I've always done what I said. And I don't understand why people out there in the industry, out in the forums, are saying anything other than what I am saying, or even questioning or doubting the reports that I'm giving, because I've always been honest. And some of the people that are involved have said, Charles, you're even too honest. You're giving out too much info that is actually giving these people the exact weapons to use against you. It's like, well, I just want to make sure that all of my trusting all of the members have the full information. Of course, there's some things I do keep, some strategies with the business. I keep that, because that's my secret sauce, that kind of thing. But making sure that you're fully in the loop of what's going on, I think, is the most important. And I'm really surprised that out of all of the members, how few people are actually keeping themselves informed and how many they're going to the forums to find out what people are saying instead of coming to me to hear what I am saying. And the next thing says, keep it up, Charles. Reaping time will come. You have been awesome. Definitely thank you, everyone, for being here. That was the last of all the questions and comments. Thanks again for being AdHit Profits and keeping your faith in me, keeping your faith in AdHit Profits, and for doing everything that you can to keep the word positive out there. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.